Welcome to another episode of Game Concept. Today I'm doing another game concept. Project Spark, of course, because that's what the thing is. I use this software, Project Spark, to create concepts that I can show you. Concepts for video games. So, yeah. Anyway, today's concept, it has a name, but it doesn't really have a name. Basically, it's a 2 to 4 to whatever amount of players you want, a game where you roll virtual dice, or maybe it's just it does something to decide how long you can go, and I'm going to explain that now. So basically, player 1 starts, and they can go for a predetermined amount of time. Let's say 5 seconds. That's what I have it defaulted to. But what I was saying about the dice is that maybe the virtual dice will decide how many seconds you go. So like you can roll a 1 or roll a 2 if it's 2 dice. You just roll 2, and then you can only go for like 2 seconds total, which wouldn't give you much time to do anything at all. But anyway, it's turn-based. So after player 1 goes, player 2 goes, and now they go around and they have the predetermined amount based on whatever they rolled. And basically the goal of the game is to find these things right here that are corrupting the land, is like the story kind of thing I'm trying to do here. And you have to find them, and you have to collect them. And when you collect them, you raise your score, you raise your team's score, and you have to collect all of them. And the thing is that they would appear at random places, and I feel like some of them may be able to move. I haven't exactly decided on that yet, but I feel like some of them should be able to move. So, for example, let's over here. Actually, I'm going to leave him right here because I want to show you about this box. So now it's his turn, so he's going to grab that. Okay, now his score has been raised to 1. He's just wandering around looking for another one. So also, it's also you can find like boxes or crates or like treasure chest or something that gives you different stuff. So for example, back to player 2, he finds this little blue box and he opens it, and his jump is increased is increased 2 times. So now his jump is effectively doubled. So now he can jump better. And there's also like enemies. Where is that enemy? I know there's an enemy over here somewhere, I think. I don't know where the enemies are, but there's like enemies. And they can kind of go around, and they will freeze when it's like player 1's turn. The enemies around player 1, they won't attack player 1. If it's the first player's turn, then they won't attack player 2. If it's player 2's turn, they won't attack player 1. That way, since player 2 is going and playing and stuff, player 1's over there, he can't move, so it would be unfair if the enemies could attack him. But since it's my turn, the enemies can attack me, and I can attack them. And of course, you can't attack each other. But you can become obstacles for each other. For example, you can push each other around. I was contemplating on the idea that maybe you could pick players up. I haven't coded that. I'm not really exactly sure how to be honest. But an idea would be that you could actually pick players up and like throw them, sort of like in sort of like in the Mineplex server, where you can pick people up and throw them. This way you could, if for example, okay, there's an item right here, and I'm at like my last second. In the last second, I'm not able to grab it. Then it's player 1's turn, and I can go over here and pick them up and then throw them and get this, or just leave them there since I'm able to get it. Or like I know my enemy is headed there, so I can pick them up and throw them away from it, and then get even closer to it than they are. That's kind of a whole thing about it, and I'm not sure like how many players it should go, but I feel like it should be like a large amount of players. Like you can have 4 players, or maybe 8 players or something, based on offline, online sort of situations. And again, these things that are corrupting the land would appear randomly throughout the world, and I feel like there would be a fixed amount of time, like 5 minutes. You have to go between each player, or maybe like 2 minutes, since you're never going to be able to go for like more than 2 minutes at a time. But anyway, like I said, you can find chests that gives you all sorts of stuff. Maybe they give you different powers. Maybe they increase your speed. The thing about it is, I wanted it to be sort of like a gamble type situation too. So some of them would decrease your speed or ruin your ability to jump or different stuff like that. Ruin your stats, all sorts of stuff. And I was also thinking that some of the objects that you grab, danger increased. I feel like there should be like a danger counter as well, so that as you're playing, as you're picking stuff up, you can increase your danger, which increases the odds that you're going to be attacked. So I feel like that's something that could be introduced. So like danger's increased. I have a higher chance of being attacked by enemies, or my danger's increased, so my health, I get hurt easier, or something like that. Some sort of danger counter that makes it to where the game gets more difficult for that player. And I feel like it should specifically be onto the actual object that you grab. So some of them may be in chest, but some of them may actually be these weird things that are corrupting the land or whatever that you have to go around and collect. And like I said, there's enemies. I don't know. I might have accidentally deleted them before I started recording. But like I said, there's enemies that go around and are trying to hurt you as well. I haven't really decided on what the deal is with all the enemies or anything. The ones I had were like giant rats, so I feel like maybe it should be like giant animals and stuff like that. Let's see if I can find one over here. Okay, so but as you just saw, player 2 had a lot of hard time trying to get up there to the place he was trying to get to. Okay, so like right here, here's one of those rats. Like I can attack it and everything, but it won't attack me. I don't know. Like some kind of I wasn't able to code it to where it won't attack me when it's not my turn. So I just made it to where they won't attack. But for example, danger is increased, so maybe that has something to do with how the enemies attack me. Maybe enemies just are stronger now, or maybe it increases odds. It changes the odds of what happens in the chest. So for example, my danger is increased, so now when I open a chest, I have a higher chance of getting a disadvantage versus an advantage. But also, the only way to lower your danger meter or danger counter or whatever I called it would be to actually open chest and find something that changed your danger count. So I feel like enemies should be able to like drop items. I have not coded that at all, but I do feel like maybe they should be able to drop certain items. For example, maybe they drop like a weapon or something, and also whatever they drop, I feel like could also be dropped in these chests or whatever I may scatter throughout the world. And also, one more thing, I feel like there should also be sorts of challenges to grab these objects as well. I don't know if you were able to like see earlier or not, but like that's a very difficult one to get to, and it's hard to get to. But I feel like the ones that are hard to get to should offer a higher reward, but also possibly it just has multiple ones there. For example, the one that I just try to grab is on this ring. Is on this ring right here. And I feel like maybe since it's so hard to get to, maybe there's like 3 there instead of just 1, and that way it's like a little challenge. And if you get it, you get triple the amount that you would normally get, but otherwise you're not going to. So anyway, I think that pretty much does it for this full concept. Again, it doesn't really have much of a name. So do you have a name for this one? Let me know in the comments below. It most likely has a name in the title or whatever, but it's probably not that good. But anyway, if you have a name for this, go ahead and drop a name in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you like these concept videos, let me know. And also, because I have so many of them, I upload them every now and again, and I'm not sure if anybody likes them. So let me know. And that's gonna do it. That's the end of the video. That's the end.